Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our Entrepreneurs Being More for Wednesday, January 19th. Wow, lots of folks here already. We should have a room full here in just a moment. We've been looking at this idea of results and the results that you'd like to create in your Nikken business. We've been looking at the idea of purpose-centered results that really do focus on the outcome that you are working to create in your life. And we'll have Ben Woodward joining us again this evening. And eventually we will cover three distinct areas and work at getting some clarity about those three distinct areas. We've talked a little bit about income and the idea of creating a specific amount of clarity about income you're looking for, influence, and working with others and having influence on them. And then finally, this idea of community and what it is you want to create in terms of community with your Nikken business. So we'll be looking at those three areas, all three of those areas eventually. And then the idea of using the different strategies: recruitment, rank advancement, retailing, the business strategies, the rubber meets the road kind of strategies that will help us to create that. So we'll be looking at that. Ben says he's just joining now. So tonight we're going to be looking at the idea of income. And the homework from last time was to come up with numbers and to actually create some figures for income that you would like to be creating on a monthly basis in the short term. And then perhaps yearly income that you would like to be creating more so in the long term with your Nikken business. So I believe Ben is with us now. Ben, welcome to the call, the Zoom. Ben, how are you? We'll give Ben just a moment. I think he's just making sure his computer is set up. But hopefully you are ready to share. I know Ben talked last time that there are three things people often don't want to talk about: religion, politics, income, money. Religion, politics, money. But we are going to talk about that tonight. And actually, there's a lot of sense. It makes sense to talk about money. It's an important component of any business. It's an important component of a network marketing business. So we will be talking about that idea tonight. Ben, are you with us?
I am. Sorry about that, Jeff. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in the car right now, so I do apologize that I just got a signal bump just for a second.
Okay. So this is this a good time?
It is. I was expecting to be home by now. I'm not, obviously, but I'm not driving. So it's safe for me to speak.
So we've just kind of introduced the three topic areas: income, community, influence, that we're going to be looking at. I've mentioned that we're going to be discussing income tonight. So can you frame this for us and maybe get people started talking about the concept?
Sure. So last week, as a reminder, we spoke specifically about the need to balance in our business the message around brand story and around the message priority of earning income. And
your signal
last week was we've done a great job of talking about brand story in Nikken for the last little while, but we haven't been talking much about income. And at the end of the day, oh, can you hear me?
No, you sound like you're
No.
underwater. It sounds like you're in an animated film. And, and your voice is stretching. How far are you from your home?
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you're breaking up. So let's carry on until Ben can join us. Did anybody choose numbers? Did anybody select numbers that they're willing to throw out there? We'll see. We'll see. Ben will join us, I'm sure, in a bit. Gloria, I think you've unmuted yourself.
I did.
So let's talk. Let's chat.
I-
Gloria, you're someone who is active. You're very active in what's happening in Nikken, and you're active on a daily basis. So it's not casual, it's a commitment at a high level. So what were your thoughts? What were you thinking about this past week, and what did you come up with?
Thank you for what you just said, because I was having that same talk with myself, and the only thing that I haven't put out at a high level is my desire to have the big check. I sat with a young woman yesterday who is learning more to join the team, and she asked me, you know, some numbers, and I don't shy away from the fact that, you know, I'm not a millionaire and you can, because she doesn't know network marketing. And I said, but it's never been a target for me. And she said, well, what has been your target? I said, my target has been car payments and groceries and those things, as I was the mom and the grandma and the taking care of parents. And I said, now with my husband retired, I said, I'm steadily looking for that fun money, that extra money that will allow us to take trips, that we don't worry about the price of gas, that we, you know, we still are good with our budget, but there's always that extra fun money. And she said, well, that sounds like a perfect target. And so if I have to zero in on a number, even stretch it bigger than I feel I need, $2,000 a month is what I'm targeting.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's great to identify that's the amount of fun money that you want. And 2,000 is definitely doable. It's something that can happen. It's something you can create. There are people in Nikken, obviously, who make that kind of income each month with their business. Why is it, do you think, up until maybe this recent conversation, that you've been very active in doing the business on a daily basis and you've been getting results, right? You and Nancy talk daily, correct?
Correct.
So you have objectives and targets that I know you've been reading. Why the reticence to establish a goal around this target of a money amount, would you say?
Well, I always had one. I just never made it bigger. I had targeted for this past, I want to say almost 2 years with Nancy in our journal, to make 100 a week in retail sales, and not counting auto ships or you know, past customers. And so that meant consistent work to make sure I had retail sales. And until I set that goal, I hit it very rarely, but I hit it often in 2021 because it was there consistently as a goal. And so it's been this consistency of attending your classes at night, the staying close to the fire with the other events, the online events, and making that commitment to pick up new customers every single week and have that retail check. And after I went gold, partly on my efforts, partly on the double points. I mean, I was actually zooming towards platinum when we ran out of month. So, you know, I feel I really earned this gold and had the team to support it. But right now, when I look at it, I don't have the team to support qualifying gold every month. that's going gold again. So, so my aim right now, and I told Nancy this morning, keep qualifying as a silver, keep getting that weekly check. And then 2,000 seems very doable now. I couldn't wrap my mind around it before, but now I can.
Yeah, and what we'll want to do, and we may not do it completely tonight, obviously, but it's breaking the 2,000 down into the smaller milestones. Because it's one thing to say, I want to be Royal Diamond and earn 15, 20,000 a month. That's one thing, right? And we have dreams, or some people might have dreams like that. But what does that mean for next month? And this idea, qualifying each month as a silver, is my next step, or that is the next step. And because I don't have the kind of team I want to qualify monthly as a gold right now, what is that going to mean for me in terms of recruitment, and how much recruitment needs to be done, and how often, and how is it that I move people along in the process? But I think it's really valuable to state 2,000 a month. That's the amount. That would mean extra fund money. That's a target. That's a number that works for me. And I think it really makes sense to do that. You didn't bring up the term fear, did you? You hadn't stated that, or you didn't bring it up. And I often, that gets connected, but you did not bring it up. So any thoughts about that, Gloria?
I can't tell you how many times when I went to Humans Being More and you asked us, or a trainer asked us, to go to the back page and say, what do you want to gain out of this class? I never needed the full page. I always wrote to just to get over this fear of success. I never had the fear of failure. It was always what would that success look like, especially as I viewed over the years these, what I considered just these dynamic people on the stage, and what they were able to do and what their stories were like. I never seemed to fit that mold in my mind to grasp what they had done and what they were doing. So it was a fear of the success.
Yeah, which is really common. Sometimes, though, what many people do experience is, once you identify, this is what I really want, is that fear can go away. Because 2,000, come on, Gloria. Gloria, you're a rock star. You're a rock star. So 2,000 isn't an insignificant amount to create on a monthly basis. It's not, but it's definitely doable. And you're someone who can do it and can make it happen. Gloria, thank you for sharing. Anybody else come up with numbers? Did anybody else identify a number, either monthly or yearly, that they're looking towards, or identifying as what they would like to create or have happen? Dawn Marie.
Yes. Well, being the newest member on the team here tonight, my goal is to earn extra $1,000 to $1,500 a month. I know that it is not going to all happen with me alone. So I'm focusing on right now building a team. I've been on Dave Rolf's calls in the morning, and I see that team concept is what really helps solidify you getting to making the income that you set yourself up for. So I am looking at getting my 3, hoping that I will continue to be able to introduce the products to individuals, to retail, as far as getting new customers, having that income as part of this extra $1,000 a month. And then to be able to, once I get my 3 solidified, to train them, get them to be a part of things like this so that they can understand the concept and see the bigger picture here of what this opportunity can afford them should they choose to take that route. So retail, build a team, and continue to be a part of this platform that's going to give me the skills that will help me to be better at what I can do so that I can pay it forward. I'm excited about what the opportunity holds. I think it's a great time for us to get going with this, coming in during the time of a pandemic. Who would have thought that we would still be able to continue to build a business such as this in this platform? I'm not new to network marketing, but I understand the concept and I really want to apply as much as the principles that I'm learning to make it happen. And I see myself making it happen. I put it out there and I'm going to see if the universe is going to honor that for me and help me to make it happen. So that's my goal for 2022.
Dawn Marie, what was the amount? You said again?
$1,000 to $1,500 a month.
Okay, yeah, $1,000 to $1,500 a month. These are not insignificant amounts. That amount of money makes a difference in someone's life. An extra 12,000, an extra 24,000 a year is not an insignificant amount, and it's definitely doable. And I've liked that you've built the skeleton of how it is you're going to get there through retail and also through building your team, finding your 3 solid people who will help you to continue to grow.
Absolutely.
So Dawn Marie, thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Ben, let's see if we can bring you back in. Ben had a comment. Let's see if their connection is okay.
Cool. Can you hear me all right, Jeff?
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, so I wanted to, first of all,
Oh, God.
He is certainly showing us that you can do your business anywhere, right?
Yeah.
When you got that signal.
Not in canyons. You can't do it from canyons. Nancy, did you have something you wanted to share? Ben, we're not getting you. You're not coming through.
I just very quickly after the last meeting said, well, that was easy for me. I can just say 2,000. And she said, I said the same thing. This is what Gloria said. And I was talking with Ruth Lowe and I said, breaking it down 2,000. And she said, well, if you're talking to a new person and I have 6 new consultants, some of them are just kicking the tires. Some of them they're waiting for orders to come in. They don't have their stuff, to experience it. So we're kind of in a lull. But anyway, Ruth said, Nancy, it's very simple math. 2,500 retail gives you 500. And, that was really, it's simple math. I hadn't thought to do it, but it was simple math. And I thought retail, golly, I need to step out and get on the internet and really put myself out there on Instagram. And every once in a while, I'll put a blog. It's so stupid. Those blogs come in a rhythm and I should just put them out, even that. And I don't. But that on top of what Dawn Marie was saying is having your consultants and showing them how they can make money. But anyone, $500 is just fabulous to have come in. And if you just look at the straight retail, not what is it? Is it our rebate? Is that what we get on the 15th? Is that what it's called? Rebate?
Yeah, overrides, rebate.
Right. Okay. Then you have that percentage. And then the auto ships that come in, and bottom line, it comes down to reaching out every single day, talking to people, listening to what they need and letting them know. It's just so simple. It's crazy, but it isn't like I always thought, oh, it's dumping Nikken on them. No, it is just being a friend and listening. That's these people that ordered a bunch of stuff and they joined as consultants. They might join, but really be active. But he was just sitting next to me telling me how his hands hurt him, and I called him about 3 days later and went, I think I can help you. You guys need to come over. And they did about a week or so later. But it was just no pressure. It was just being friends. But we have to do it every day.
Nancy, thank you. Did I missed it if you brought it up? Did you bring up a monthly number?
Yeah, 2,000.
Okay, so same as Gloria. Man, this is going to be exciting to see you and Gloria working together over the next 12 months and see the progress. And if it hits 1,000, if it hits 1,500, if it hits 2,000 by the end of the year, if it hits 2,500 by the end of the year, you know, it's going to be awesome to see the progress as it happens, and to see the results and get some feedback. Anyone else want to share numbers with the whole group that you thought about, that you identified for yourself over the past 7 days? Lynn. Make sure and unmute yourself, Lynn.
I'll just share so that others that don't know me will be aware. I have been introduced to Nikken many years, but just in the last year, November, reinstated with full intention to build the business. With my past experience, the compensation plan was always over my head. But the last month, I've spent the time really understanding what it takes to build a business. I'm going to just throw this number out. I spent yesterday and today calculating what does it require a 5,000 roughly an income a month. Based on what I've been learning from Dave, that's about 84,000 commissionable volume. When you break it down, and if you break it down that you're going to, let's say, have an average group, let's assume silvers, you need 43 teams to be producing about 3,000 a month, and to bring a commissionable volume around 84,000, and that would produce an income for a leader or a group of about 5,000 a month. In my mind, those are huge numbers volume-wise, but once you have the core initial first line, and if you focus on building the depth, I don't see the 43 leaders a huge number to accomplish in a year. That's very huge, but I'm stretching it. And the reason I'm stretching it, because anything less than that is great. Why wouldn't we aim for something as big as that? So I'm finally got my head around the numbers, and that's where I'm aiming. Very big for me to admit that today.
Lynn, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome to step up and put it out there.
Yes.
I think something that you said that's really crucial to remember is you're not doing that volume on your own.
Correct.
Right? You're doing that volume with a lot of other people.
Yes.
Who
yes.
are consultants, who are customers, and are working with you to create that volume each month. I think that's important to remember that fact.
And that's really the only part that took away the fear and my confidence to be able to explain how the money is made, which I've never been able to do before. You don't have to go in detail, but that I'm able to break down how many leaders, probably organization is going to be around 125 individuals, but that really having the engineering background that really gets me a ability to wrap my head around the numbers.
Well, and we will spend more time working on getting more clarity about how many people, how much retailing, what actually needs to be done when we get into the practical side of this to make these income goals happen. But I think identifying them, just stating the number and being clear with ourselves, overcoming the fear of the idea of putting something out there is important. And I like that something you said really tied closely with what Dawn Marie said. Those 43 people will come in part from the 3 people. It's finding
Exactly.
those 3 people who are as committed and as passionate as you are. And once you find those 3 people and they find 3 people, then things just start flowing and moving. And we've seen this happening this year, especially with Leo LeMay.
Right.
And he's been a rank advancing machine the past couple of quarters with lots of new silvers and golds and platinums in his organization. But as people find people, those people find people, and before you know it, you have 43 people. But it all starts with that small core group that Dawn Marie is talking about, that small team that want the same objectives that you do. Lynn, thank you for being brave and stepping up. Thank you for your research and work that you did.
I spent a lot of time on learning the compensation plan, and it's worth it. It gave me the confidence.
Awesome, Lynn, thank you. Anyone else want to share with the group? One more brave person want to share their discovery this past 7 days, 6 days? Anybody else come up with a monthly number or a yearly number that you'd like to put out for the group?
I unmuted myself.
Thanks, David.
Okay, I did something slightly different. I've never been able to follow directions completely, but what really intrigued me in terms of where we are starting is I wanted to know, working with somebody to do the power start, what can I tell them realistically they're going to make in the power start? And I wanted to understand what they would make in the power start and what I would make. And basically, you've got your the total for the person doing the power start is right in the neighborhood of $200 plus the Nikken reward points. And the total for me is about a little bit over 150. And I just took general because, there's so many variations of how that could happen. But I wanted a ballpark understanding for myself in terms of getting them set with that. They have the realistic expectations and then fine tuning it. So that's really what I put my work in to understand that.
David, that's awesome. That's really worthwhile to know. Say that number again for the person doing the power start, around $200.
The person doing it, the way I figured that was you just assumed 750 retail, and you take 20% of that. Yep. That's 150. Okay. Now, in terms of working with Dave Rolfe, he said, well, then you go to the CV, and basically he would figure like 60% of the PV is CV. And then for the new person coming in, they're getting a 5% rebate. So you multiply 5% times the rest of that. So the total came out to $190.50, then the $100 Nikken reward points. And then for myself, signing them up, it would be all CV, and that came up to about minus the retail part of it that was taken out, came up to 162. And that was just generally without looking at specific ones. And I would throw up the 2002, although I'm going to need to work for a month as a goal. But what I wanted is I wanted that specific skill to be able to, because with our incentive program, I want the new consultants to really have that power start as a goal to launch themselves. And then in addition, they get up to executives, so then they get a 10% rebate instead of a 5% rebate.
Yeah, and if you start to think about that with consistency, bringing in a new person, one new person, or 2 new people a month who are doing power starts, the amount of income for them and for you really starts to be a significant amount. If you're bringing in 320 a month because you have 2 people doing power starts,
right?
That's rewarding. And this is something we want to do. David, I'm glad you took that approach in addressing the homework assignment, because we do want to break down aspects of the compensation plan and aspects of the incentive program so we can get very clear, what are the goals and targets? What do I need to do this week? What do I need to do this month to make the 1,000, the 1,500, the 2,000, the 5,000 happen, whatever it is? What needs to be happening for myself individually, for my team, for my organization, depending on how far you go out. And we're going to continue to look at that. David, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I apologize to everyone that Ben wasn't able to join us. He just was never able to get to a location where he had a signal. But he will be with us next week, and he's been Facebook messaging me, and he has many things to say and share, as you're probably not surprised by, based on what he heard us share in our conversation. So we will continue this next week. I don't have.
Next week is Nikken next.
That's right. Thank you, Gloria. Not next week because we have Nikken next, but the following week. So we'll pick up 2 weeks from tonight, and Ben Woodward, our Royal Diamond, will be back with us, and we'll be at a stable location with an actual internet connection. I've been promised. So, thank you everybody for being here with us tonight. We'll see everyone soon. Join us for Humans Being More Weekly next week. We've decided to have it weekly and to not pause it for Nikken next. So we will carry on next week. We're talking about cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's been a really interesting discussion thus far, and we'll continue that discussion next week. Lots of ideas, tips, tools, strategies to help someone with their consistent thought patterns and the results they're getting in terms of their emotional life, and just the results they're getting in terms of their mental well-being, their health, the outcomes that they're getting in so many areas of their life as they become masters of the daily thoughts, the daily patterns of thought that they're having on a regular basis. So thanks everyone. We'll see you next week for Humans Being More Weekly. Have a great night.